Alright guys, we're back here with this 2002 Nissan Pathfinder. In my previous video we diagnosed why it wouldn't start. It was a broken wire, but now we're gonna diagnose this check engine light. Start it up, it's got the check engine light. We talked to the customer stated that the light wasn't on before, but who knows, the car wasn't running either. So we're gonna take a look at it, diagnose it, and see what's going on.
Alright, so right here we've got my handy dandy Solus Edge, exclusively from Snap-on. It's a 2002, let me turn it off real quick and turn the key on. It's a 2002 Pathfinder with a 3.5 engine. And I'm gonna go here and hit yes for okay.
Oh. And it says we got a mass, I don't know if you guys can see it on there, but it's a P0102 mass airflow circuit signal is low. Alright, so right here, as you can see, this is the same ECM relay that we worked on. We fixed this circuit on this area, if you can see the right here. Now this wire right here goes to the mass airflow sensor. So I don't know what these are for. I assume this is the ground. I don't know what this is or what that means. But let's start by checking the battery positive on this sensor. And we'll go from there. So here we are with the connector. This is the mass airflow sensor, and this is the wire we're gonna test. It's an orange wire, and this orange wire, no, wait, let me go take a look. This one says BW, so black white. So let's see if we can find that. Black white right there. I don't know if you guys can see. Let me turn my light here. Black white. So we're gonna, give me 1 second, let me back probe this and then we'll test it. Alright, so right here we're back probed on the black and white wire, and then we're reading 1.1. Now this wire is only powered on when you turn on the ignition, so that's what we're gonna do right now. I'll put the ignition on, key on, don't start it up. And we're gonna read right here, we got 11.18. If you guys don't have a power probe, I recommend you get one. This thing is a useful tool. Plug it in, so you gotta change. Still 11.8. Let me back probe the other wires and we're gonna see what we get. We're gonna start with this black and pink wire. And right here, it looks like we have a ground. It's reading 0.0 volts. Now we're gonna do the pink and black wire. We got 5 volts. So if you guys don't really know how these computer systems work, what they usually do is they send out 5 volts, and then the mass airflow will change depending on how much air is flowing through with it. The voltage will change. So I'm assuming this pink and black one, is a 5 volt directly from the computer. And then this orange one, we got a ground. Now let me go get my scope on there and we'll start from there. Alright, so right here I have a Vantage Ultra scope. It's only a 2-channel scope. What's neat about this scope right here is gives you a component guided testing. So right here I loaded it up. US
imports. And this is a Nissan. Let's see if I can find it. Am I blind or am I guess I don't know my alphabet. It's a 2002. And it's a Pathfinder. So we'll go here. Fuel injection. And we'll look to see if they have anything on mass airflow. Oh.
Look there. Mass airflow. I'm gonna look up component information, get an idea. It says mass airflow sensor is a hot wire type that outputs a linear signal to ECM as intake air increases, mass airflow signal voltage increases. Okay. The mass airflow signal is used by ECM to determine engine load, fuel calculations, yada yada yada. Now let's take a look. So this is from a back probe view. That's what we see. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is what's neat about this is 1, 2, 3, 4. It tells you what each wire is, its purpose of each wire. So number 1 is a mass airflow signal. Number 2 is 5-volt reference signal, and I guess number 3 is the ground signal, and number 4 is battery positive, or only when the key is on or started. So let me plug this in. So this is all plugged in. Let's go back. Let's do a DC voltage signal test. I'm not really gonna read this test because I don't need it at the moment. So right now, what's dope about the power probe is you can ground it out. They have a ground right here, you can ground it out. So right now, I'm gonna connect the back probe wire on the signal wire of the mass airflow. As you can see, we don't really have a signal, battery's on. And let me start it up and we'll take a look at it. And it looks like we don't have a signal. Let's wiggle it. Right there, we're reading 0.01 volts. Let's give it some gas. It looks like we're not really getting much of a signal. Lucky for us, we do have a used sensor. We don't know a used mass airflow sensor. Let me turn off the car. Lucky for us, we do have a used mass airflow sensor. We don't know if it's good, but we're gonna put it on and we're gonna run the same test to see if we're getting a signal. And then that would pretty much point it out to see if it's a faulty mass airflow sensor. If the mass airflow sensor went bad, or it can be something a little further, but here we go. Okay, here's the bad sensor. I marked it with purple so I know which one's the bad one and which one's the good one, so I don't get confused, because it's happened to me before. Right here, the boss put on the new one. I am working today, so I'm kind of quick on making these videos. So he put on the used one, not the new one, the used one. So I don't know if this one's good or not. We're gonna start it up, look at the signal. Let's look. Well, I'm back probe right here on the signal wire. Just by looking at it, it's 1.15 volts. And that already tells me, just by looking at that, this sensor right here was not sending the correct signal. So who knows if that code was there or not there before the customer brought it in. From what I know is that this customer took it to another shop and they couldn't figure it out. So when they brought it here, the car didn't run. We got it running, we did the testing, and then the mass airflow code came on, so who really knows what happened. But let me give it a couple. As you can see, when we read the description of testing it, it said that the voltage will increase when more air flows through the sensor. As you can see, more of it goes, but it still sounds like it's hesitating here. I got it wide open, and it only gets to a high of 2 volts. In my opinion, though, just by hearing how this engine's running, it's running like crap. It's not running good. And it seems to not get really high, but I mean, just by the testing we did here, I'm gonna point out that this sensor isn't good. So the boss is right now looking up for the prices of the sensor and he's gonna order one. We're gonna put it on And if I have time after we put it on, I'll record what the scope reads. Yeah, it's a little noisy here, but I'll record what the brand new sensor records or what the code is, and we'll go from there. All right, so we got the new sensor, it's installed. Again, we got a back probe on the signal wire right here, this orange wire. And right now we're reading 1.5 volts. We recently moved the car out and the car died on me. And with the used mass airflow sensor. So let me do a couple of snap throws and we'll see, take a look. Let's look at the voltage right there. It's at 1.5, I'll round it up. Shot up to almost 2. The engine sounds much more better, way better. You know, and look at that wave pattern. It looks much better, much cleaner. So let's change the voltage, maybe to 5. We'll get a closer view of it. Way better than before. So that's why I think that pretty much solves the problem. Now I'm gonna just secure the mass airflow sensor and take it for a spin. But I think that fixes it right there. So